Hello, students. I hope you all are safe and in good health. I know this has been a long vacation for you all. Now it's time to study and be in our virtual learning. I am Tilu Saji Thomas. I'll be your English teacher for this academic year. We are following NCERT textbook Honeydew, and we also have a workbook for this. Each unit in this book have a prose lesson and a poetry. Today we will start a new academic session with the poem The Ant and the Cricket. Do you all remember we have learned this poem in class 6? Now this poem is a fable. What is a fable? Fable is a story with animals as characters that conveys a moral. So, fable is a story which has animals as characters and it has a moral to it. This poem gives us insight or it makes us understand that we should not be lazy in life, and if we are so, we can lose our life in difficult situation. So, shall we start with the poem? A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. A silly young cricket, accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring, began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and winter was come. The meaning of the word accustomed to sing means the young cricket had the habit of singing. Now, for the explanation, in the first stanza we read, the silly young cricket likes to sing all day long, enjoying his summer and spring. Now, we have two characters in this poem, the cricket and the ant. The cricket is depicted as a silly cricket and the ant as a miserly ant. The cricket is very jovial. He likes to sing all day long and enjoy his time in summer and spring. But when he reaches home, there is nothing for winter. All his cupboards are empty. And now he is worrying what will happen to him in the winter. Now the cricket, who likes to sing all day long, when he reaches home after the summer and spring season, he's worried because his cupboards are empty and there is no food left. Now to the next stanza. Not a crumb to be found on a snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? Now the explanation for that stanza. The cricket now realizes that he has no food at his home. Not a crumb is there. Crumb means not even a piece of food is there. Not a crumb to be found on the snow-covered ground. There is no food at all because the whole ground is covered with snow. Not a flower could he see, not a leaf on a tree. On the tree there are no flowers or even leaves because it's winter season. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? So now the cricket is worried how he will survive the winter because he has no food and also he has no place of shelter. Now to the next stanza. Oh, what will become of me, says the cricket. At last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold. Away he sets off to a miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant. Oh, what will become, says the cricket, of me? At last by starvation and famine made bold, all dripping with wet and all trembling with cold, away he sets off to a miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant. Famine means the scarcity of food, no food at all. And for the explanation, since the winter has come, there is no food anywhere, and the insects are starving because there is no greenery at all. And the whole place is totally wet, all dripping with wet, and all trembling with cold. All are shivering with the cold winter season. Away he sets off to a miserly ant. Now this cricket remembers he has a friend, the ant. Now he is going to the miserly ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant. Now the cricket is planning to go and meet this miserly ant so that he would give him some food to eat and also a place to live in. So that was a imagination that the cricket is having in his mind, that he could go and meet that ant to see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. Now the cricket is planning to move forward. He wished only to borrow, he'd repay tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. To see if to keep him alive he would grant him shelter from rain and a mouthful of grain. He wished only to borrow, he'd repay tomorrow. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. Now, the explanation is the cricket goes to the miserly ant to get some food and shelter. Now, miserly means being not so generous, a person who does not share anything with his fellow beings. Starvation means suffering or death caused by the lack of food. When you don't have food to eat and people die, that is called starvation. Here, the cricket now goes to the miserly ant and asks him or pleads with him, can you give me something to eat? A mouthful of grain and also a place to live during the rainy time. And the cricket is now putting up an idea saying, I will repay it tomorrow. So you just give me, so I can borrow and I'll repay it the next day. If not, he must die of starvation and sorrow. So he's saying, if you don't give me, I will die of starvation and sorrow. The next stanza. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend, but we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. Says the ant to the cricket, I am your servant and friend. But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. But tell me, dear friend, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? Quoth the cricket, not I. Quoth means said. It's a old English. The word quote means it's an old English and the meaning is said. Now, the cricket now goes and pleads to the ant to give him some food. The ant, meanwhile, the ant considers the cricket as his friend, and also he says, ant says, I am your servant and you are my friend. But what we have a bad quality in us, we don't share our things with others. We never borrow or we never lend. We don't borrow from others or we don't give it to, and also we don't give it to others. And the ant is quite curious and is asking, but tell me, dear cricket, did you lay nothing by when the weather was warm? So the ant is very curious because ant is a hard-working animal, insect. And here the ant is asking, how could you do nothing when the weather was warm? How the when the weather was warm, why didn't you do anything? Why didn't you store up food? Why didn't you make a better place for you to live in? And he's asking, why? What did you do at that time? And what were you doing at those time? The next stanza. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say? Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. My heart was so light that I sang day and night, for all nature looked gay. You sang, sir, you say? Go then, says the ant, and dance the winter away. The meaning of the word gay means cheerful or happy. Now, for the explanation, now the like what I said before, the ant was quite curious because they are very hardworking insects and they store up food for the winter. And he is asking the ant, "What were you do? What did you do during the summer season?" And and the cricket was saying, "I sang all day long during the summer and spring because the nature was so cheerful and happy." Now here the ant is, kind making fun of the cricket, saying, "So then you do one more thing, you dance the winter also. If you can dance in summer and spring, why don't you do it the same thing in the winter season? Go then," says the ant, "and dance the winter away." Then you do the same thing during the winter season. Here the ant is making fun of the cricket. Thus, thus you understand that the ant is not ready to give his food or give him a shelter. To the last stanza. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Fox called this fable, I'll warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Fox called this a fable, I'll warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. Okay, to the last answer, as we read. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Here we find, after listening to the cricket story, what does the ant do? He turns the poor little cricket out of his house. Wicket means is a small gate near to the big gate. And what happens? He is thrown out of the house. Fox called this a fable. I'll warrant it true. So people say this is a imaginary story which has a moral, but it is true in our day-to-day life. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. Here, the story or the poem is between an ant and the cricket. Here, the crickets have four legs and some have two. And some have two means it is relating to human beings. So, this last answer reminds us that we will be turned out by our friends and even our families if we don't work hard and achieve our goals. Here we find the ant throws the poor cricket out because he sang all day long during the summer and winter, summer and spring, instead of gathering food for the winter. So the insect was supposed to collect and keep the food in store for the winter season, but he didn't do that. Whereas the ant worked hard and collected food and made his shelter a better place for him to live. So what is the moral from this lesson? We should not waste our time idly and not fall into bad companies. No, we should be responsible for our future and we must not spend our good times idly. We should not waste our time at all. We must also secure our future against the bad times. Even if bad times comes in our lives, we should be strong enough to face that. How can you face it strongly? When you have stored up everything for you. The poem tells us that we should not waste our time idly like the uh, silly young cricket. Now, shall we go to the questions? Before that, what does the fable teach us? It's a how hardworking one should be, and only those who work hard will be successful in life. Now there are 4 questions given, okay, and since you've learned this poem before and now we've learned it again, I think you will be able to write the answers by yourself. The cricket says, "Oh, what will become of me when does he say it and why?" The first question, the cricket says, "Oh, what will become of me? When does he say it and why?" So you read the poem twice and find the answer. The second question, find in the poem the lines that means the same as "neither a borrower nor a lender be." This sentence is from Shakespeare's play, "Neither a borrower nor a lender be." Here in the poem also, there are two, there is a sentence like that. What the ant says to the cricket. I'll give you a hint. It says, "But we ants never borrow, we ants never lend." What is your opinion of the ants principle? Do you think what the ant did was right? If it was yes, you give your justification for that, and if it is no, you should justify the answer for that also. Third one, the ant tells the cricket to dance the winter away. Do you think the word dance is appropriate here? If so, why? So when we come down to the last part of the poem, we here read the ant saying to the cricket, "You dance the winter away." Was it correct to use the word dance? If so, why? No? So you can write your own opinion for it. The fourth one, which lines in the poem expresses the poet's comment? Read them aloud, write the comment in your own words. So the whole poem is depicting a fable, and the poet has his own line in that. Okay, so tell us which is that and write the comment in your own words. So I hope you have understood the poem. Write down the answers in a notebook, and we'll be doing the workbook later, as in when you come to school. Uh, and for the next class, we'll be starting off with the first part of the unit 1. That's the lesson, which is the best Christmas present in the world. So for this first part of the unit, we'll be doing the poem, and next we'll be starting off with the prose lesson, which is the best Christmas present in the world. I hope you all understood the poem. Please do write the answers in your notebook. Thank you.